welcome to part 4 of episode 99. One away to 100. Big 100 where things will be a change right here at Top Rope Reality. But let's get started with the list.
That does not miss.
And we're going to talk about the top 15 predictions of what WWE will look like in 2020. Number 7 this week, Big E will be the first African-American WWE champion.
Big E has proven himself to have more of a personality than anyone could have expected since joining his New Day teammates. The Unicorn has always had the look that WWE desires for in their main event talent, but the company could never find the right spot for the former powerlifting champion. After a successful run with the New Day, Big E will emerge on his own and dominate the upper card ranks for a few years, and will become the first ever African-American WWE champion. Before the comments get nasty, remember that The Rock is only half black. That's what it says. I didn't say that. It says that.
Yes.
And whenever his race is mentioned, emphasis is put on his Samoan heritage, because nobody cares about Rocky Johnson.
The tattoos?
Yes, nobody cares about Rocky Johnson. Also, WWE Champion is different from World Heavyweight Champion, so Booker T and Mark Henry do not count. No. So the bold prediction, Big E will fill the spot of Randy Orton in the main event picture over the next 5 years.
Well, things may change, because we have brought up about Apollo Crews.
Apollo Crews!
So it's a race to the top between Big E and Apollo Crews. So really,
and to me, Apollo Crews, one thing he has against him is the height, whereas Big E has the height, but he also has the bodybuilder look, but then so does Apollo Crews. So will the height be the difference, or will Big E...
Who is in charge also speaks volumes.
Right. And Big E was more FC... Well, he came from NXT.
Yeah.
But he was one of the earlier guys before Triple H really, started pushing hard on this stuff. But you just never know. But at the same time, is Big E going to be pigeonholed into being a tag team guy? Because when you're pigeonholed as a tag team guy, it does hurt. And Kofi, what has he been pigeonholed as?
But maybe Kofi needs to be a tag team. Some people need to be a tag team guy.
That is true.
That's one of the problems. I'm tired of these people being a tag team, and you think, okay, they should be a tag team. Like, well, nobody be a single. No, not everybody needs to be a single person.
Right. Like the Usos, never break them up.
No. Wade Barrett, if he stayed around, should be a tag team guy. I'm sorry, but you should be Wade.
That's true. But next we have Top Rope Reality Storytime. Endings that screwed great WWE storylines and what should have happened.
That's right.
And Chapter 4 is?
The Nexus Invasion. Oh, yes.
What happened? There has been several invasions in wrestling over the years.
There has.
But none were as shocking as when the Nexus rookies from the original NXT season ran into the WWE ring on June the 7th, 2010.
2010. Well, 2010. It's time for them to do another invasion with the rookies of NXT.
Interrupting Raw's main event of CM Punk versus Johnson.
Yep.
The newcomers attacked not only Cena and Punk,
that's what you need to
but
do.
also the ringside crew such as Jerry Lawler, who would never be attacked again since they already heart
attack.
No,
he wouldn't. And he's not on Raw anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That's true, that too. Matt Striker, former timekeeper Mark Yeaton, who'd been there for like 30 years. Why'd they fire him? I don't know. And Justin Roberts, who famously got his tie wrapped around his own neck.
But it was vicious, and it made the case. I'm sorry.
Yes, and apparently it was too vicious for the sponsors, and they had to fire it. Right. Yes. But it really did look like Justin Roberts was dying when they did that. I was like, oh my gosh. Either that's really tight on his neck, or he's a really good actor. The ring itself was torn apart.
It was.
Commentary tables and chairs were overturned. And at one point, Daniel Bryan choked out Roberts with his own tie before spitting on Cena. I think that's really what more or less got him fired. You spit on me, and now they're like brother-in-laws, pretty much. It was uncharacteristically...
They will be.
Pretty much. If Cena ever gets the ring on the finger...
He wants to get married again.
It was uncharacteristically intense television for their PG era.
It was. But hey, people, they ate it up. They're like, hey, more, give me more, give me more. And they said, no, we're going to water it down.
Yeah, because this is how it ended. At SummerSlam that same year.
Same year, not even a year. Not a year's worth of runs.
Yeah, because SummerSlam, June 7th. SummerSlam's August.
Yeah, that was like...
2 months, wasn't it? Team WWE battled Team Nexus, which climaxed with Cena defeating Wade Barrett clean in the middle of the ring and sending Nexus packing. On a recent episode of Talk Is Jericho, Cena's Team WWE teammates Edge and Jericho, almost a Christian, It's just automatically something you say.
Teammates Edge and Christian, yes.
Right. Edge and Jericho eliminated that Cena went against their advice by pinning Barrett, as the Nexus immediately lost a ton of steam. The group would then be plagued with injuries and go through several variations, at one point led by CM Punk, and eventually becoming less and less threatening and dissolving just a year later, because they were the new Nexus with CM Punk. And Edge and Jericho both said, doesn't need to be clean, you don't need to wipe out this group, and they did it anyway.
Yeah.
But this is how it should have ended. This was one of these most exciting angles in years, and we were seeing things we had never seen before. Nobody had torn up the ringside area the way Nexus did, and who can forget the way they circled the WWE legends like sharks, picking off the old-timers one at a time. Just like Ricky Steamboat had to go in the hospital and had a heart attack and stuff through all that. There is no reason at all that Barrett couldn't have gone over Cena at SummerSlam, continued the Nexus revolution against the WWE establishment. Unfortunately, the combination of the squash and the injuries that followed meant the original group fizzled out and were soon forgotten.
Yeah, core.
Yes, that was a horrible, what's it called, extension of the group.
The core.
The core with 2 R's. But yes, it was just...
so bad.
Somebody didn't like it or something, because that definitely should have went over way better, and Barrett should have been world champion off of that group.
Yes, he had everybody behind him, behind him to protect the champion. Yes, come on.
Protect the champion. He should have won the belts.
It writes itself if you do it right.
And then we're going to jump to the 15 biggest matches WWE should have booked in the 90s, but they did not do it. The end of Hulkamania, the new generation, and the beginning of the Attitude Era all saw some pretty big missed opportunities.
They did.
So we have number 15.
Yeah,
Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid.
The showstopper.
That too. Mr.
The
WrestleMania.
main event.
Taking on the Ultimate Warrior.
That would have been interesting to see.
In 1996. Coming out of WrestleMania 12.
That's it.
I hate Roman numerals. In 1996.
And Roman Reigns.
That too. So when Roman numerals happen, it's a victory when I get it right. In 1996, it was clear that the company's 2 biggest stars were the new WWF champion Shawn Michaels and the recently returned Ultimate Warrior.
Yes, with a terrible haircut.
That too. They were wisely separated from each other on TV for months that followed, as a future match between the two would have been an obvious blockbuster.
The next WrestleMania.
Michaels had just defeated Bret Hart in the first ever 60-minute Iron Man match for the WWF Championship, and Warrior had returned to the company after a 4-year absence. In that time...
Oh, that's when Michaels did the boyhood dream!
Of course. In that time, a lot had changed. The entire fabric of WWE had changed to include new main eventers like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Diesel, The Undertaker, and Razor Ramon. This was a distinct departure from the days when Warrior last worked for Vince McMahon, with stars like Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, and Ric Flair were main eventing. Babyface versus babyface matches were rare in the company in 1996, and considering WrestleMania 12 main event, it's possible that Vince might have wanted to turn Warrior heel for a program against Shawn, a move Vince scripted for SummerSlam 92, but which Warrior refused. A marquee match against Michaels should have been the priority before the company parted ways with Warrior for the second time. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be, as Warrior and Vince had another falling out, and the former Jim Hellwig departed Titan Sports in the late June of 96, just 3 months after he returned. I believe that was when he couldn't come to work at a live event because he said his daddy died.
Something like that. But yeah, it was big stinkeroo. But I would have loved to see Shawn Michaels versus Ultimate Warrior.
It would have been interesting. Shawn would have definitely bumped for him pretty well.
Yes, it would have. And now let's talk about our top already way too early WrestleMania 33 prediction.
We have 2 pre-show matches apiece.
Yes.
And then we have 8 matches on the main card apiece. So what we'll do...
Which we know what they'll do. They'll put 4 on the pre-show and 11 on the main show and cut out 3 and end up adding a musical guest. And
then cut the musical guest, which was amazing they did that.
Yes.
But did you also see that the replay of WrestleMania on the network, they cut out...
They edited already, haven't they?
Yeah, they edited the Dallas Cowboys thing, which who cares? And they also took the AC/DC song out Thunderstruck, whatever it was.
Yes.
They took that out and put generic rock music in it. So apparently they were only given permission to use it for one time.
Well, don't do it at all.
Then don't use it.
Yes.
It's just too expensive. Then don't do it. But what we'll do is I'll do both of my pre-show matches. Then
Okay.
you do both yours.
Okay.
My first pre-show match is Golden Truth. Golden Truth.
You feel Golden Truth will still be together by this time when Mr. WrestleMania 33 comes around. Okay.
So, unless they're not both retired because they're old. Gold Dust and R-Truth taking on, since we don't know what their new names are going to be.
But they say, welcome to Puerto Rico.
They say welcome to Puerto Rico. And they are Puerto Rican. They're not Mexican like they try to do with the whole hitters, El Perrito. So I'm going to, just for argument's sake, going to call them Primo and Epico right now. So
Okay.
Golden Truth taking on Primo and Epico. I think it'd be a pretty good match.
It's a good little pre-show match.
Good little pre-show
While people coming into
right. And then my second match would be the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Yes.
And you just put random people, whoever's not on the card goes in there.
20 people, yeah.
So
Well, I also have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Like, it won't matter anything this next year, like it did last year. Let's say, hey, whatever, 20 people.
Right.
Yeah, whatever.
exactly.
And also, the newcomer Bobby Roode
I like it.
will take on Cody Rhodes.
Not Stardust.
Stardust character will be gone around the end of this year, and Cody and Bobby Roode will start up something at the Royal Rumble, which will lead to WrestleMania's pre-show.
Interesting. Now what we'll do is we'll go in order.
Okay.
I'll do one, you do one.
Okay.
I do one, you do one.
Okay.
So my opening match of the night is the U.S. title ladder match. And in this U.S. title ladder match, you've got Neville, you've got Tyler Breeze, you have Zack Ryder, you have Stardust, who is the champion, and you have Miz, and you have Damian Sandow. So we already know we're very much off because he's got Cody Rhodes in the pre-show, and I got Stardust on the main card.
Never know.
But you just never know what'll
Never
happen.
know.
But that is my first matchup.
My first match is for the Intercontinental title, and it's a 6-pack challenge.
They need to bring those back. They really
They do. We don't have a ladder match for the single title this year.
Every single time. Yes, I
We have the champion Finn Balor
Ooh.
defending against Sami Zayn, Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler in one of his last WrestleMania matches, Samoa Joe, and Nakamura.
Nakamura. Very, very good. My next matchup.
Because it's way too early.
Way too early. Way too. Maybe about 6 months from now.
We may do another one in 6 months from now if we kind of read the room. So. Okay.
So in a way, then I have my second match, and it will be the man has been asking for a singles match for years.
See, that's what I understand. I forgot about that.
He's been asking for a singles match for years, and I want to just show people the comparison of the two, how similar they are, because we can't have Shawn Michaels in the match, because I'll never wrestle again.
I'll super kick you.
Right, exactly. So, since you can't have Shawn Michaels, you got the closest thing to it, the closest second to it. So we have Chris Jericho taking on a combination of Jericho, Shawn Michaels, and Mr. Perfect in someone they don't know how to push, and that is the man who's wanted a singles match for years, Dolph Ziggler.
I can see you about 75% on that one. I feel comfortable about that one.
It'd be a good match.
Will be a good match. Like I said, this will be Dolph's last WrestleMania.
Right. Jericho could put him over in his last match. What we do?
Maybe.
He did it for Fandango, but not AJ Styles.
Well, my next match is for the United States Championship. I know they're not this way, but that's been my second pick where I wrote it down here.
Right.
It is your champion, AJ Styles, United States Champion, taking on Bray Wyatt.
That'd be a good match.
Give Bray something.
Very good match. Now I have
A
a.
loss probably for Bray, because it is WrestleMania.
It is WrestleMania, and that'll be AJ's 2 losses in a row if that's the case.
Yeah, that'd be 2 losses for... Yeah. It'll be 4 losses for Bray or 2 losses for
That's
AJ.
Third match, you have the tag title fatal 4-way. You have New Day. New Day?
Is your champions?
Rocks. No.
Oh.
Taking on the Deadlifts.
Are they your champions?
No.
Wow.
Taking on the Vaudevillains.
Are they your champions?
No.
Wow.
Taking on the last team on here, who are the tag team champions, Big Cass and Enzo Amore. That's your tag team champions. Going into WrestleMania. I'm not predicting winners. I'm just saying who the champion is.
My next match is also a fatal 4-way for the WWE Tag Team Championship, but it's a ladder match. As your champions, Bulletproof
Ooh.
takes on the New Day.
Very nice.
the Lucha Dragons, and the Wyatt family. Which two, though? Luke Harper? Oh, you just like to see big old Luke and Eric on a ladder? Or would you just like to see Eric and
Nobody wants to see Braun Strowman
Strowman
break
on
a
a
ladder.
big-ass ladder, go through a ladder? That'd be very surprising, yes.
So my next matchup will be the Intercontinental title match, and it should have been a singles match this year with Owens and
It
Zayn.
definitely should have been. You're right.
But I will redeem that by having the Intercontinental title match with Kevin Owens taking on the champion, Cesaro.
Ooh, good. My next match is for the Women's Championship, as your champion, Sasha Banks, takes on Bayley. We're going to use a little NXT magic here at WrestleMania on the biggest stage.
Very nice. Next, I have. Looks like we're just swapping here. So I'm going to repeat what he just said, because my women's championship match is Sasha, the champion, taking on Bayley.
Hey, ding, 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 ding.
We got one the same.
Up next is Kevin Owens taking on Brock Lesnar.
Very nice.
And I believe this is where Brock would do the job
He needs to.
make Kevin look very, very good.
My next matchup, to jump ahead of this guy, so I can say I got it first. That's why I went ahead and did the women's title match. And that is going to be The Undertaker taking on John Cena.
Yeah, that's what I got. Undertaker, John Cena.
That's what he has to.
So we got two matches.
2 matches out of the whole card the
out of
same.
10, so yeah. Okay,
Pretty crazy.
your turn.
Oh, so I'll go back to me now.
Yeah, because I know John Cena.
My Brock Lesnar match.
Figure that would be Undertaker's last WrestleMania. The next year he'd go in the Hall of Fame.
Right. My next match would be the Brock Lesnar match for the card, because we get one Undertaker match, one Brock Lesnar match,
Right.
and then everybody else just fills in the blanks.
Yes.
Brock Lesnar not taking on Kevin Owens, but taking on Baron Corbin. He's a big guy.
Nice push for Baron Corbin.
He's a big guy, so he's probably gonna lose, but still,
Yeah,
Dean can't beat him. Baron Corbin better not.
I know. My next match is one they've been teasing. They teased it this year.
Like 2 years now.
They tease every time they get together. It's in Orlando. Shaq played for Orlando. So I think they're going to have it. And it gives you your star power there. Shaq taking on the Big Show.
Gives him a year to prepare.
You're prepared. And also, maybe Big Show's last match, too. So,
And he always loses to the celebrities. Acapulco.
freaking if
And
Floyd
Floyd Mayweather.
wanted me, I can
So
definitely Shaq or two.
Then
Man.
the main event, the WWE Championship match.
Yes.
Roman Reigns, your champion.
Ooh, got that right.
So we have that the same.
So,
Roman Reigns is the champion.
you figure he's going to go,
Oh yeah.
they may want him to try to push the...
CM Punk thing out of the way.
Mhm.
Boo! Anyway, and we almost had this the same.
Almost.
But mine, I didn't think as much on it as he did, because that's a really good idea.
Well, we
But-
were thinking it should have been this year.
That's true, but it couldn't happen. Yes,
Injuries, so.
but this will be Roman Reigns defending the title against Seth Rollins, with Roman as the heel.
I have a title match. I have Roman Reigns as a champion, but it's a triple threat. As it's Reigns versus Rollins versus Ambrose. We may hit a few this time.
We may get a few, but I do like the triple threat idea better. I forgot all about the whole Shield
I
idea.
say Reigns to be champion. One of them could either get a win over him at Royal Rumble, not by winning title, but get a win over him.
Rollins should come. I know this is far off.
Or off to. This is going to happen at SummerSlam, probably. May happen at SummerSlam, and then have it at WrestleMania. I'll how they do it.
Well, they could keep them away from each other. But what I was about to say
Well,
was,
you have two. You have another double winner again.
what I was about to say was have Rollins win the Royal Rumble, but then where does Dean come into
Right.
it? I don't know.
No
Sound like somebody attacked somebody else.
Well, that is it, folks, for this episode 99. Next week is our big 100. We finally made it here. no telling what we're going to talk about.
That's true.
Everything's up in the air. We know we have the list. We have our ringside news. We have our Starcade report. We have also our March Macho Madness. We're going to finish that. Plus whatever else we want to talk about. We're no telling. So come on back here next week to talk about Rally and see what comes up with the big 100.
100. You just never know what we're going to do.
You never know. Well, I'm Mike Hogan.
And I'm just a Kyle.
We'll see you next week.